Hey guys, welcome to my crash course. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about the saxophone in 15 minutes. You will know everything that you need to know about the saxophone by the end of this video. A few things I'll be covering is the breakdown of the sax family, a breakdown of the instrument itself, a breakdown of all of the reeds and what they mean and what you can do with all of them. One of the things that I'll be covering for you guys today is the origin story of the saxophone, how it became, how it started, and all of that, how it got to where we are today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We'll be covering a couple things, the first thing being the origin story of the saxophone. Adolf Sax created the saxophone in 1840. And the reason why this is such an important thing is because he had 7 near-death experiences as a child. So a lot of people believe the saxophone maybe was not supposed to be invented. But here we are, he was alive for a reason. He survived a brick to a head, swallowing a needle, drinking sulfuric acid, falling from a 3-story window, and almost nearly drowning, which seems tame in comparison to everything else he's been through. But growing up, he's always liked tweaking the clarinet and thinking about how he can make it better. He would always combine clarinets with flutes and improving on trumpets. He did a lot of reinventing the wheel until he came to the saxophone, which even got denied in its first appearance. He created it mainly for orchestra and military, which is a drastic contrast compared to what we use it for now. Primarily took off during the 1940s, almost 100 years later, with the creation of jazz. Moving on to the saxophone breakdown, we're going to be mainly talking about the family. So saxophone are considered woodwind instruments, and if you're wondering what even instrument is the saxophone, well, you have a lot of different ones to choose from. Regardless of every single saxophone that you may see, including contra, subcontra, double subcontra, and all these other things, the most standard ones that you'll see specifically in beginner band will be the alto saxophone, and branching off above that, you will have tenor sax, bari sax, and soprano sax. In order, you have soprano, alto, tenor, and bari. These represent SATB, which stands for your soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. That is your primary saxophone family. In comparison to me, I'll be mainly talking about the alto saxophone, but I will include a video of the bari. This is the bari sax. This is the size comparison to me, right? Okay, this is the bari sax compared to me. All their different keys. Courtesy of my friend Daniel. You are going to have a couple main things that all of the saxophones will have. You will have a body, and you will have a mouthpiece. You'll have a neck piece too. And all of these pieces fit together to create the saxophone. And at the end of it, you put on a reed and a ligature. So we will get into reeds, but right now, as for the saxophones, I'm gonna narrow it down to just the alto saxophone. So this is our storage room, and as you can see, there's many different types of instruments, but over here to the side is specifically where we keep the altos and the tenors. The smaller of the two are the altos, and you can even see that one is held in a cloth case. As for the alto saxophone specifically, you're going to have different parts. Although the body specifically has nothing that disconnects, you're going to have the different names for each thing. You're going to have the bell, that's where the air comes out through. You're going to have the bow, the way that the saxophone bends, that's what you call the bow. On the side, you're going to have your right hand and pinky keys. You're going to have posts. Posts are what the keys are connected to. On the other side, you're going to have your left hand palm keys. The body is what you call the whole thing in reference. And also connected to that is the neck. You have the neck that is adjustable to turning where you want it on you, and it comes off. And the neck also serves as a bridge between the body and the mouthpiece. Now, another thing we'll be covering is the mouthpiece and the different parts of the mouthpiece. And you don't want to skip this part, because when you're learning an instrument and it comes to referring to what you need to move on your mouth to apply to the mouthpiece, it's important to know what you're looking for on the mouthpiece and visualizing that in your mind. You're going to have a mouthpiece and a ligature. So this is a mouthpiece, this is your ligature. I'm going to show you 2 different types. Now, one thing you can get is a mouthpiece cover, and this is just what I keep my mouthpiece in because mine is made out of acrylic, meaning it is a little bit more prone to damage if it happens to fall. Now, this is not mine, so that's why it looks like that. two different mouthpieces, two different styles of ligatures. So this one, as you can see, tightens on both ends, and when you put the reed here, it's going to tighten both sides, whereas this one will just tighten on one, and that way it'll be even. That way it'll be even all around. So first of all, when you're looking at a mouthpiece directly at you, what you're going to see is the bore. This whole opening here on this side where the cork goes, that is called the bore. However, when you're looking at it from this side, this whole area where it goes into, this is called the chamber. As you can see on both of these mouthpieces, both of these arches, that is what you're going to call the tip contour, and the end of it is just called the tip. So each of these pieces have the tip, but the way in which they arch, that is the tip contour. Here you're going to have your side rails. I'll show you on this one as well, the side rails. And then all along this outside edge here these are the walls. Down here where you can see where it goes straight down, these are the ligature lines, if you can see that. Yep, here. These are the ligature lines. Here, this opening, as you can see in the diagram, they show you that these are the windows. When you look directly at it, those are the windows. Now, I will not be demonstrating on this one. I'll be demonstrating on mine, but they work completely the same. What you don't want your reed to look like is this. So let me go grab another one. I want to talk about reeds. When you have a saxophone reeds, you want to make sure that it's specific to the instrument that you're playing. Even with saxophones, you can't just have a saxophone reed. You have to have it specific to what instrument you have. So say I have an alto saxophone, you're going to want an alto sax reed. Say you have a tenor saxophone, you want a tenor sax reed. Most students start off on either 1.5 or 2, depending on the level of air they're able to push through. Standard is 2. Advanced players play on like 4. Basically, what all these numbers mean is that there's a thickness. When you look at it on the side, you can see that this part right here, that's the thickness that you're looking for. The thicker it is, the smoother sound you're going to get, but the more air you have to push through to get that sound. That's why it's harder to play on thicker reeds. This is a 2.5. and this is a 3. When you look at them, let me put them together. When you look at them side by side, but you can see that one's thicker than the other, specifically just around this place. I'll be demonstrating on a 2.5. This is what you don't want your reeds to look like. You do not want them to be chopped or broken, because then you won't be able to get a good sound out. They usually come in a box that looks like this. This is just a standard pack of 10. They come in cases like these. Now you can buy alternative cases. You buy alternative cases, they're going to look just like this, and you kind of just slide them in and out. I usually keep 2 or 3 in my rotation at all times. Basically what that means is you don't want to keep playing on one reed, because if that one goes bad, then you have to break in a new one at the same time. So you kind of just switch and rotate until one of them goes out and you bring a new one in. Now you're going to grab your saxophone reed. You're going to have the tip of the reed, the butt of the reed, the heart of the reed, which is going to be in the middle, and then this place in the middle is the file of the reed. Because when you're looking at it, when you put your reed up to the sun, you can see a file in between. For it to go straight down the middle, that's exactly what you want for it to look for. Oops. Focus. That's how you know it's going to be a good reed. So we're just going to have it, the file facing us, and we're just going to get it wet, just using saliva. Now I know it sounds gross, but that's basically, if it's not wet, it'll be significantly harder for you to make out a sound. And what you want to do is you want to align the tip to the contour, right? So that way when you're looking directly at it, on both sides, it's lined up. And this is easier for me to show you because I have a clear piece, a clear saxophone mouthpiece, and so you can see that. Usually what you want to do is just keep your reed in place, slide on your ligature, then adjust it afterwards. keeping it right in the center. There, I'll keep it right in the center. And then whenever you can, just tighten it up. Yeah, there you go. You put on your reed to your mouthpiece. Although this is broken, I don't recommend using it. I'm going to show you again just with one of these black clear cases. And then you got to tighten both sides so that they're even. This is why I prefer using one, so I know that it's even. So here you go. Making sure it's wet. Proper mouth embouchure will be sliding your bottom lip a little bit in, but you will keep your top lip over your teeth. You can use your tip of your teeth right on the beak of it. You're going to take a deep breath. To get the different sounds, that wavy sound, by kind of dropping your jaw, literally just all that is, just dropping your jaw down to create the different sounds like that. So this is straight. And then this is with making different sounds. When you open up a standard saxophone case, you're gonna find the latches flip down, and then it opens just like this. You're gonna have a compartment for you to have your neck strap, your cleaning supplies, your extra reeds, your mouthpiece cover, and everything else that you need. Your neck and your body. And this is where your mouthpiece will usually hang out. Here, I'm gonna take my neck strap and I'm just gonna put it over my head and adjust it up to me. I'm gonna grab the body first, and I'm going to grab my neck, and it's going to slide just right there. I did not put on cork grease before this, so it was really hard to get on and off. Right here, I have 2 tubes. Can you guess which one is the cork grease? Now, if you guess this one, you'd be incorrect because this is chapstick. Please don't use chapstick as cork grease, and please don't use cork grease as chapstick. When we apply this, we can be as liberal as we want with our application, because at the end of the day, it makes it easier to slide on. And look how easy that was. Now we're ready to play. Now, when you have everything adjusted to you, you want this to be comfortable enough so that when you hold it, it's not putting too much strain on your neck. You have movement. Now you're probably wondering, where the heck do I put my hands? There's so many keys. We are going to show you. So, starting with the bottom, you have a little hook. This is where your thumb is going to hang on to. This is where most of your weight will be held onto, aside from the neck piece. We'll have 3 white buttons. They are in the order of index, middle, ring finger, and then your pinky. These little rollers right here slide in between. That's why they have rollers. Next, I'm going to show you the other side. You're going to have this little cushion right here, not cushion, but place for you to put your thumb. And on the other side, you have literally 5 buttons, but it will be index, skipping the first one, going to the second one, skipping the second one, going to the third one with your middle finger. Your ring finger will go on the 5th, and then your pinky will hang out here, depending on what low notes you have. They will slide in between here with more rollers, or they can go down here. And as you can see, when I press those ones, they are in charge of these ones. And on the back, going back to the back, we have this, but you can also have the octave key up here, sliding in between. And now you're ready to apply what you learned on the mouthpiece to the instrument.